So what I've learned to love is having less stuff. It was really, really hard to get rid of a ton of stuff because we have a small RV. It's 35 feet long for being in full time. Just that was not. It didn't feel super good then because I really liked that stuff. But it's worldly stuff, and I've learned that having less is sometimes more because
Exactly.
the things that you really like and that you use every day, you can keep. And the things that you don't, maybe you don't need them.
Hello and welcome to the Teens on the Road podcast, where we talk about all the ups and downs of living in an RV as a teenager. I'm your hostess Kayla, and each week we'll meet a new perspective on what it means to live this lifestyle. Whether you've been on the road for 6 months or 6 years, this podcast is here for you, to share laughs, to remember the hard times, and to celebrate the good ones. Stick around to meet our guest of the week and learn all about their story. Ready for the ride? Let's go!
Hi, my name is Ashlyn. I've been on the road for 2 years, and I have a bunny.
Ooh, we're gonna hear more about him later, guys. So, my first question for you, what is your traveling story? What prompted your family to start living on the road?
Well, we originally come out of San Diego, California, and I lived there for the first 12 years of my life. My dad's job used to be going to the office every day and sitting at a computer, coming back home late at night, right? But during COVID, he was not allowed to go back into the office. And so he could work from home. And that then gave us the ability to have home be anywhere, right? And then my mom got on the school board in San Diego, and she saw what was happening there. And so we then got removed from public school and then got homeschooled. And so that made even more flexibility. And we plan to go on the road a couple years after we actually started. But then since all of the changes, we were able to do it sooner. And so, yeah, we started on the road.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you guys start out with like the intention of going 1 year, or was it like we're just moving onto the road?
Yeah, we intentionally started with 1 year, then come back to the San Diego. After 1 year, it then became 2 years. So we just been continuing since then. We love it so much. At least I do. And yeah, so our goals were to visit every national park and every capital in the United States. We didn't get that in the first year, but we got a lot done in the first year.
Nice. So how many more do you have left to go?
I'm not sure. I think we've been to about half of the national parks, or a little bit more. And then there's 61, I think, and so we've been to like 40, I think. So
Nice.
yeah,
Getting there.
it's not
Getting
bad.
there. Yeah.
And then for the capitals, we've been to 49 states in general, and I think we've been to most of their capitals. So we're very close for capitals at least.
And if I'm correct, Hawaii is your last one?
Alaska.
Alaska is your last
We
one.
actually went to Hawaii a month ago.
That's right. I got it mixed up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Almost there.
My parents aren't adventurous enough to go to Alaska with our trailer.
I know. I heard the road is like really rough getting up there, and that's what my dad's hiccup is for going to Alaska too. So.
Yeah, our rig is only 35 feet long, but my parents just don't want to deal with it.
I know, it's a long drive for sure. So when you first moved in to your RV, what was the transition like for you personally?
Well, personally, I didn't have a super rough transition. I love being on the road, but obviously there was like leaving friends. I didn't have a phone at that time, so I was using my mom's phone to text all of my friends. And then I miss the beach so much, even now, because Cali girl.
I know, how can you like move from San Diego and not miss the beach? I mean,
Yeah.
it's the San Diego beach. Like,
honestly, you go to San Diego for the beach.
exactly.
Yeah, and then our home church, absolutely love it. Shadow Mountain Community Church in San Diego. Go if you have the chance.
Awesome.
It's absolutely amazing. So we miss that a lot, and just like our community there.
Yeah. I know that you being really social, it probably wasn't super hard for you as a transition, meeting new people, because you guys really prioritize meeting new people.
We did. We didn't really meet anybody until a couple months later, and then I didn't start creating a social circle until the next year, because we were moving about every 3 days for the first year.
That's insane.
So yeah, that's why we got so much stuff done that first year.
No kidding.
But yeah, I got to meet some really nice people the first year though. So
that's good.
Yeah.
How about your family? Has traveling brought your family closer together?
Well, my dad not having to go to work from 8 in the morning to 5 at night has obviously brought us closer to him.
I can imagine, yeah.
So that definitely has changed a lot. And then just we're in a fairly small RV, so we're very close to each other all the time.
Right, yeah.
And so there's pros and cons about that, but I'd say it has.
Good. Yeah. I think that being in such a small space generally helps families get closer together, and also, like,
Physically and mentally.
physically, mentally, and then also you're presented with new challenges that you have to deal with together,
That's very true.
So it's very growth, etc.
I agree.
So in your RV, do you have a specific setup that you particularly love?
Well, we only have one slide, which is good because they don't break. So it is only broken once.
Oh,
So
knock on wood.
yeah, honestly, I specifically love our bunk room. We have the 4 of us girls and my bunny in there.
Oh wow.
So it's very cramped in there, but it feels like it was made for us because there are 4 cubbies, there are 4 drawers. It's yeah, and Prince gets the bottom cubby, but there's an extra bigger cubby for Melina.
Got it. So it works out.
Yeah.
Nice. So going off of that, I have a ton of Instagram people who are wondering about how you live with Prince on the road, your bunny.
Oh, okay.
So they're wondering what it's like, how it's different than having a different pet on the road, and what it's like having a bunny on the road, basically.
So we started out on the road with 2 dogs and my bunny. Our dogs were 19 and 17, so we had to put them down about a year ago or so. So we started out with them, and that was fine. And then Prince, he has a story. So when I got my bunny, we had this inkling of an idea that we might go on the road like 3 or 4 years, right? And so my mom was like, get an older bunny, right? And like 6 or 7, just an old bunny so that we don't have to deal with him being on the road, right? And so I get my bunny from a shelter. It's during COVID, so I can't go and see him, but I talked to the lady at the shelter. She sends videos and stuff. Like, this is a super nice litter trained bunny, right?
Yeah.
And so I end up adopting him, right? And he looks exactly like he does now. Nothing has changed. Okay? He was 6 months old.
Oh my gosh.
He was 6 months then. He's 4 years old now. And so he looks exactly the same.
He hasn't grown bigger
Nope.
at all? Wow.
He was 8 pounds when I got him, 8 pounds now.
Okay.
And so it didn't really work out to get an older bunny, but I do have him.
Yeah.
So he did, and we ended up going on the road earlier, so we probably would have to take the older bunny as well, and that wouldn't have worked very well. He would die of stress or something.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, but Prince, at our house, he had a big exercise pen, or we put chicken wire around our trampoline's bottom, and so he had a big area with with grass that he got to go outside every day when I got home from school, and so he had a lot of space. And so moving into the RV was, I feel like, kind of rough for him. But he's ended up transitioning. He has a cubby that's like, yay, by that big,
So like a foot by 2 feet, 3 feet?
Yeah, I'd say.
Okay.
And he likes his cubby, I think, more than his cage, even though his cage was bigger, because it feels more like a burrow.
Yeah.
And so he has his litter box and his water bottle, and he's happy in there. And then during the day, as long as we're in a campground with grass, which usually we are, I take out his exercise pen, and he can run around in there. And that was about as big as his pen back home.
And now he gets to be outside and smell everything.
Yes, he loves being outside and eating all of the grass.
I bet he's like a grass connoisseur at this point. I mean, he's tasted grass from like all over the country,
That's something. My bunny has been to more states than most people in the United States.
Yes, and we are bragging about it, guys.
Yes.
So we're going to transition now into traveling places and things. What is the first time that you fell in love with a place, and why did you fall in love with it?
Besides San Diego, because I was born there, probably Acadia National Park in Maine.
Really?
It also has a beach. I love the beach. But it just, the feel of the mountains and the trees going into rock, going into ocean is just, it's stunning there.
It is.
It really is.
I haven't been to Maine yet, but if it's anything like Oregon coast,
sort of,
with the rocks, but smaller scale because it's the East Coast.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to Maine.
It's beautiful. Go eat some lobster rolls.
Lobster rolls, yeah, that's the goal. I mean,
the butter ones, not the mayo ones.
Got it. Okay. Was there anything, a particular hike that you really loved to do in Acadia that you would suggest to anyone else?
Forgot what it was called. It started with a G. We went with some friends, And it was when we went, it was along the coast, and then it was through the forest, and it was so beautiful.
So it was like a perfect hike for Acadia.
Yeah, it was. You got everything.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So what is a place that you hope you will never return to, and why is that?
I had to think for like an hour on this.
She really prepared, guys. She has like a whole notebook
4
full
pages
of notes. She was ready, so I'm ready to hear your answer.
Yeah, personally, I'd love to go back to each and every place, but my family really, really hates Las Vegas.
Really?
Like a lot. And so I'm gonna have to go with their answer because I wouldn't be too sad if I never went back. A lot of places I would be really sad if I never went back. But like I got the vibe and I got to see what Las Vegas was, and now I don't have to go back.
Yeah.
So
what makes them hate Las Vegas so much?
I don't know. Just like all of the extra everything there.
It's like sensory overload.
Yeah, all of the gambling, all of the just everything.
Yeah, all the things.
Yeah, just I don't know. Just the way I think it's just the way that Las Vegas made them feel more unsafe than other place. Yeah.
What time of year did y'all go?
May. We went during Melina's birthday, which is probably why she doesn't like it.
Yeah, I bet. I know. The one thing that's cool or bad about having birthdays on the road is you'll either be somewhere that you like,
Yes,
or you'll be somewhere you don't like, and there's a possibility that you'll have your birthday like by yourself with no friends.
Yes.
But then there's my sister who she's gonna have her birthday with like 30 people, and it's just like it's completely dependent on where you are at the time.
Exactly. So. You're either in a place that you will absolutely love and be super happy you're there, or you'll be somewhere where you're like, why couldn't I be there?
I know. Like I had 2 birthdays in Oklahoma.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
I had possibly 2 in Wyoming, actually.
Fine.
But my family's there, so that was at least better than nothing.
Wyoming isn't the worst. Was it on the east side of Wyoming?
Cheyenne.
Okay, yeah. So, in your opinion, what's the hardest part about traveling full-time?
Probably having to leave friends.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, you make such good friends at rallies and stuff, and you have to leave them after, and that's really sad.
Yeah.
But the good thing is, usually you get to meet up with them in the future again, and so you have something to look forward to as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things that we like to say in the RV community, instead of, saying goodbye, you say, we'll see you down the road, because there's always going to be another opportunity to hang out with friends down the road, so we don't really say goodbye. So, what, in your experience, is the best way to make friends on the road?
I say rallies,
Mm-hmm.
and like events. We specifically do full-time families rallies for the most part, and just the amount you get to meet a lot of new people, and so if you meet somebody that you don't click with, you probably don't have to meet up with them again.
Exactly.
But if you meet someone that you like find a really deep connection with, you want to be really close friends, you can be, and during that rally you get really close in a short amount of time, and then down the road you can meet up with the people that you really liked, and it's a good way to meet people, and
exactly.
then down the road get to know them more one-on-one.
Yeah, for sure. So definitely join RV communities and rallies and things, whether it's full-time families or escapees or Republican nomads or whatever.
All the things.
Yes, exactly. We're gonna have a whole episode in the future about the different kinds of RV communities and which one is best for your family.
During our travels, it can be hard for a photo to capture the essence of a place. However, a piece of art can usually do the trick. This episode is sponsored by Paint the Scenic Route, your go-to for watercolor masterpieces. Discover custom art and pre-made travel paintings at paintthescenicroute.com.
So, these questions are going to be a little more personal. How has traveling impacted your faith? I know that you're a Christian and you guys had a home church. How has that been affected by living on the road full time?
Personally, a lot has changed in the last 2 years, specifically because I'm getting older and can learn more and dive deeper into all the complex things that I couldn't when I was like 8.
Right.
So that traveling hasn't specifically impacted that part, but just getting older as well. Also, going to all of the different churches. So while we're in a campground, usually we travel on Sundays, but if we're somewhere for a Sunday, we stop and we go to a church around in the area.
Mm-hmm.
And there are so many different churches, so many different things.
Have you gone to different denominations too?
Yeah, so we're non-denominational from our home church, and usually we go to a Baptist, but there's also some other non-denominational ones we go to and such. And we've tried out different, like, there's so many different denominations and so many different ways that people do things.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a good way to decide and see for yourself what kind of church you don't want to go to and what kind of church you do.
Yeah.
Because we were always in Shadow Mountain since I was born, at least, and that was like the best church we have ever been to,
Mm-hmm.
ever, out of all of the ones that we've.
The one from your hometown.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like I didn't get a lot of a different experience than that, and so now on the road we listen to our church. On Sundays. But besides that, when we do go to churches, it's a lot of different experiences and being able to see different things and how people do stuff.
And I bet that's been an overall good thing, just learning, how God's people worship in different ways and have communion in different ways. It's really interesting, I imagine.
It is. It's very interesting. So many different things to learn about the way that people do things.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, also, so I'm part of 2 Bible studies right now online with friends that we've made on the road. And since we don't have a lot of church community, just because we're not in one place, it's great to be able to do these Bible studies and dive deeper with other people. I personally really like it. I know some people kind of are weirded out by things being online,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I really enjoy it because it's community. It's learning other people's views as well.
Yeah. It's your traveling church community.
Yeah.
And for Christians listening, there is a large Christian community in the RV community. So if you get plugged into those communities, it'll be really easy for you to find friends who have common values. Okay, next question. How do you road school?
Oh, okay. So we started out by doing all books. My sister Melina, she did a online school that was a charter school back in San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
And then my sisters and I, my 2 little sisters and I, we did books the first year, language arts and math books. And then for basically our entire time road schooling, we haven't had a specific history or science curriculum. And that's because we go to a lot of science museums and we visit a lot of historical places. And the things in history books, it stays in your mind a lot better if you've been to that place.
Exactly.
So we basically learn as we go to certain places, and we go to a lot of national parks, as I said, and we've been to tons of battlefields and all of the different things like that. And then this year I'm doing a CELIS because it's my first year of high school, and I decided that if I'm going to go into a public high school at any point, or specifically for colleges, so that I can have that I did this and I did this and I did this.
Yeah, so you had a varied experience.
Yeah, and so that I can say that I actually did this class. It wasn't just me going to different places,
Yeah, that makes sense.
But like for history, it was so easy the first couple weeks, and so I decided that this year I'm doing the first year of high school history in half a year, and then the second year later this year.
Nice. So. Okay. What is something about traveling that you have learned to love?
So what I've learned to love is having less stuff. It was really hard to get rid of a ton of stuff because we have a small RV. It's 35 feet long for being in full time. Just that was not. It didn't feel super good then because I really liked that stuff. But it's worldly stuff, and I've learned that having less is sometimes more because the things that you really like and that you use every day you can keep. And the things that you don't, maybe you don't need them.
Yeah.
It's definitely something I've had to learn to love, but now I'm really happy that I don't have as much stuff now.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, minimalism, it's
something you got to get used to.
It's something you got to get used to, but it's also good in balance, you don't want to have you don't want to not get things for the sake of minimalism if you really love them and that you're going to cherish them and it brings you joy.
Yeah.
But you also don't want to just have stuff for the sake of having stuff.
Exactly. I myself have a postcard collection, and so instead of getting all of the tiny little things from souvenir shops all around the place, I get a postcard, and they're not expensive, which is really nice. And then I can always have the postcard. I'm like, I've been here, and I went in this order because I have a postcard book.
Nice.
I've had 3 postcard books. So,
oh wow! Look at you.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I've started doing postcards too.
Yay.
So, teenagers, I know you don't have probably not a lot of money, and that's okay. Postcards are a great souvenir. What I like to do is I like to write what we did at the place that we were doing there. I like to date it. And then if it's a national park, I like to put the passport stamp on there too.
So that's smart. I might have to start doing that.
So, do you think you'll travel in the future, like when you're an adult?
So, Personally, I love to travel. I love this lifestyle, and yeah, and I don't know what job I'm gonna have, and so I don't know if I'll be able to have the flexibility to be on the road full time, but I definitely know I wanna travel as often as I can. I really wanna do, out of the United States as well, do international travel. I think so many different cultures are so interesting to learn about, and so I'd love to go and internationally travel as well. I do wanna travel, I just don't know
What it looks
how
like.
how it will be possible, but I will travel.
Would you try and prioritize living, like, full-time in an RV? Or would you be okay with, like, plane travel and staying in hotels and stuff?
I'm not sure. If international, it will probably be, obviously hotels and stuff.
Mhm.
Um, but if it's the United States and I have to be in the United States for a job or something, but I have the flexibility, maybe I'll go full time.
Okay,
But yeah, if I do go internationally, I probably won't get a trailer.
cool. So, prioritize travel.
Yes.
Awesome. So, almost done here with our questions.
Ooh.
For all of the teenagers listening, what would you have to say? What advice would you have to give to them about living this lifestyle?
Okay, so I'm a very much so an extrovert.
Mhm.
But for introverts, on the road it's hard to make friends, and you have to put yourself out there to make friends. Like during rallies, don't just stay in your trailer. You have to go up to someone, be the first one to say hi. My name is somebody, right? And because someone's got to be the first one to say hi, right? Or no one will make friends.
Exactly.
And so why not you, right?
Yeah, makes sense to me.
Yeah. I love this lifestyle, but my sister doesn't.
Mhm.
And I know that quite a few people don't. And so I just say this is such an opportunity and an experience. Even if you don't enjoy doing it, try and savor it
Yeah.
because not a lot of people get to do this. You know?
Yeah.
It's something even if you don't enjoy this kind of lifestyle, still look at the other side and what other people think. They're like, "Wow, that's amazing." When people are like, "Where are you from?" and then you have to do the whole spiel,
Yeah, exactly,
right?
every time.
Every time. It's like there's always a long awkward pause when they
Mhm.
ask, "Where are you from?"
Exactly.
It's like people then are their reaction is like, "Wow, that's so cool. I wish I could do that." And so even if you don't enjoy it, try and savor it, you know?
Exactly. It's like, you don't have to, like every part of it, and you don't have to even love every part of it, because I know there are a lot of hard parts, and different people feel those harder than other people, but it's, like, taking the time to be grateful for it and
Yes.
savoring it, like you said. I like that word. That will make it all the more enjoyable.
It will, because there's nobody loves everything.
Exactly.
Like, I love this lifestyle, but there are things that I don't like.
Mhm.
Um, but even if you don't you're on the opposite side of that, there are some things you like, but mostly you don't like it. Be grateful for the experience that you're getting.
It's important to be grateful, yeah.
It
And
is.
it's good for your personal well-being and also for your family's well-being so that they're not having to deal with, like, grumpy you all the time.
Very
They're
true.
trying to enjoy the experience as well.
Exactly. It's a season of thanks. Be grateful.
Okay, awesome. Before we wrap up, do you have any closing thoughts or questions for me?
I do. Okay.
Ooh.
So, do you or your family have a theme song for your travels? If so, what? And if not, what would you want it to be and why?
Got it. Okay. I listen to a lot of music, so I have probably personal ones. I remember the first day we went on the road. We were leaving our rental house. We were heading west to go to Oklahoma to drop some stuff off. And the first song we listened to was "On the Road Again" by Willie Nelson, which,
Oh,
pretty
yes.
classic, guys, pretty classic. We also really like listening to, like, classic trucker songs, country trucker
Yeah, yeah.
songs like "Highwaymen," "Eastbound and Down," "On the Road Again," etc. Oh, "I've Been Everywhere," Johnny Cash.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
That's
We
a
listen
great
to
one.
that one all the
I made
time.
a whole checklist of all the places that he mentions there, and I've been trying to check them off. A lot of them are, like, in South America, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Johnny Cash, what were you doing in South America?" Like,
Exactly.
but I have them listed, so if I go, then I can check them off.
Yeah.
But, so I would say probably the trucker songs from our family. What about you?
Oh, okay. So our family song, we decided, we're Riley's on the road, and so we
Mhm.
decided to. My mom decided a theme song, and it's on our way by Mercy Me, and
Nice.
it's a really good song. You should listen to it if you haven't.
For
But
sure.
it it's got so many different aspects that relate.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, I love music. So
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure. That's awesome. Okay. What is your question for our next guest? Can be
Oh.
silly or serious. I think your next guest is your sister. So what do you have to ask, Melina?
Oh, that's a good question. Instead of a question, could you address her? Like when you
What do you want to say to your sister in the next episode? Through me.
through you, can you say, "Hello, Molasses, how are you doing?"
I will do that for you.
Thank you.
Sounds great.
If you liked this episode, feel free to subscribe so you never miss one. If you'd like to connect with us, follow us on Instagram and feel free to reach out with any questions or feedback. And don't forget to leave us a review on your streaming service of choice. It really helps us grow and reach more listeners like you. If you're a traveling teen interested in being a guest star on the show, fill out our form and we'll get back to you soon. Link in description.
This episode was sponsored by Paint the Scenic Route. Check out their products at paintthescenicroute.com. Our intro song was created for Teens on the Road by Mila Rose, and you can follow her Instagram at Mila Rose Sings. Special thank you to our guest of the day, Ashlyn. Follow her adventures on YouTube at Rhiley's on the Road. Thank you again for listening, and see you down the road.